Hey y'all, good morning. What's up? Today is Thursday, February 13th? No, February 12th. And it is about 11 in the morning, although it feels like about 6 or 7 in the morning. I have a little one homesick. My husband is starting not to feel well. Eden's complaining about her ear. And my other son just got had to get picked up from school because he's running a fever. So definitely a bug going around. My body has been trying to do an amazing job with keeping me from like full blown getting sick. I think it understands that there is no downtime or sick time for a mom or a wife, that when everybody else is sick, even if you are sick, you are the nurse, the doctor, the everything. So appreciate my body for doing that. Thank God for that I have not just full blown gotten sick, had sore throat, I've had some congestion. But for the most part, I have not just fallen ill or, had a fever or whatnot. But anyways, I haven't done a reading vlog in a while. I'm doing a buddy read with my girl Eliza, so I thought it would be kind of the perfect time to do that. She started last night and is on chapter 4. She's at work, so now I get to catch up to her. I started this morning. And I am now in chapter 3, and we are reading, I guess I should let you know that we are reading Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. And this book already has had us laughing. We have been texting back and forth, just cackling. Love the family dynamic, the way they talk to each other, the way you can genuinely just feel the love in the pages. And I just love it. I love the way that they love each other, look out for one another, and are very much so like, if somebody does you wrong, they've done us wrong, and we're not messing with them. So like I said, I'm only at chapter 3, enjoying it so far. Yes. Yes. Put your name on it. Anyways, kids, right? Supposed to be sick or not feeling well, but still loud. It's crazy. I just don't understand it. But anyways, as I said, I'm still very early on in the book. I am only in chapter 3. Definitely enjoying it, though it can see this being a 4 or 5 star, but it is just way too early to tell. Definitely am reminded why I fell in love with Abby Jimenez writing. Love all the banter, the back and forth dialogue in this book, the family dynamic, the closeness, and the humor is A1. And how Dr. Death or Dr. D just keeps putting himself in these awkward situations when he wants to be liked. He's in a new space and already people are just kind of like, this guy is an a-hole, he's weird or standoffish or whatnot. And he keeps somehow being put in these situations where they're like, we knew we were right about what we think about him, but he really, is just kind of socially awkward, which I can relate to. But anyways, let's get back into this book. I want to catch up to Miss Eliza, maybe get a little further ahead of her, because that girl can speed read, and I don't want to get left too far in the dust, because I like when we get to talk about it, kind of chapter by chapter. So thanks for hanging out with me today. Let's get into this book. All right, y'all. So the time is now 3:47. I've been reading pretty much all day. Yours truly. Of course, I've had to pause off and on to do the mom thing, but I'm at 23%, which is chapter 12, and I am enjoying this book. I will say that Jacob is probably my most favorite character. I feel like I can relate to him the most. He deals a lot with anxiety and social anxiety. And I just love that he touches on that, because that is something that I struggle with. I am socially awkward, and I am nervous in new spaces around new people, and I know that people will probably assume that when you turn on this camera and you record and you talk to people you don't know about books or whatever, that you're an extrovert. But truth be told, most YouTubers, or booktubers especially, are introverted, and it's so much easier, it's so easy to get on camera and talk to the camera about books versus, if someone were to invite me to an event of some sort to talk about books, I would more than likely be like, yeah, no, I'm gonna pass. I don't care what the reward was. I don't care what the award was. I don't even care if they said it's probably only going to be about 10 or 15 people. I still would have to have a hard pass. Like, no. I'm definitely just, I'm one of those people that I get lightheaded, start sweating, feel like I'm going to pass out standing in front of a large group of people, or even, it could be 5 people. If I don't know them, I'm uncomfortable. And so, in my head, which Jacob hits on a lot, where he's in his head and he's like, they're probably thinking this about me, and then they're probably going to think that, and that probably is going to lead to this and this and this. And sometimes the overthinking is just a spiral, a snowball downhill that just you make worse and worse by your own thoughts. And so that's something that I definitely have gotten better with. But just reading that in a book and hearing how somebody else has struggled with it, it's just like, man, that I've been there. I get like that sometimes. And even how he said that, instead of turning down invites and stuff like that, that if he gets invited somewhere, that he started Googling the places ahead of time, Googling the menu or the layout, finding out where the restroom is. Sometimes he said he'll even go to the place, the day before, just to see the layout of it, and that limits his interaction or him having to, talk to more people than he's comfortable talking to before he gets comfortable in that space. And it limits his anxiety because he already knows what to expect, what the feel of the place is, what the layout is. And so I'm just like, I may actually have to try that. Instead of shying away from invites, maybe, just get familiar with the place as much as I can, ask about it, Google about it, go by there if it's close enough to just see what the layout is, so that I just know. It's kind of that unknown that feeds into your anxiety even more. But I just love this book. I will say every chapter, probably every other page, has had me laughing. I love Abby Jimenez. This book has reminded me why I fell in love with her writing from the first book that I read by her, which was Say You'll Remember Me. So definitely enjoying this book. Like I said, it's about 3:45 or so. Hubby just texted me and said that he's coming home from work. So I'm going to go get dinner ready. We'll probably spend a few hours together watching our shows, talking about his day and whatnot. And usually he goes to bed about 6:30 or 7 because he has to wake up about 3:30. And sorry, y'all, the sun is glaring. And so once he goes to bed, that's when I usually will retire to my reading space, and I'll probably pick this book back up. If I do, I'll try to check back in with you guys before I go to bed. If not, I will give you guys an update tomorrow. But I am enjoying this book. I know I'm probably late to the party. Everybody's probably already read this book, but now Eliza and I are part of the crew. We have been cackling all day, texting back and forth about this book, and we are both really enjoying it. So I'm glad we decided to pick this up. So that's it for now. I will update you guys, if not later this evening, sometime in the morning. Good morning. All right, y'all, it has been a good few days since I last picked this camera up. I have been reading, but it's been more like a chapter here, a chapter there. This bug, whatever it is, y'all, it does not want to let me go or my family go. It's like we have these weird moments of where we're feeling better, but then we wake up and we feel very fatigued, very weak. So I've just been taking it easy, been doing a lot of movie watching and just resting as much as possible. Like yesterday, I think yesterday I did all the laundry, folded it, put it up. I felt fine. Then I paid for it like later that night, and even now I just feel so weak and fatigued right now. So I made me some tea, and I'm chilling with baby girl and about to pick up this book and start reading. I am at about 73%, I believe, of the book. I'm pretty sure I can knock this out today if I am intentional about it. Still enjoying the book very much so. Still being reminded every page why I enjoy Abby Jimenez, her writing. Still in love with Jacob. He may be one of my top fictional male characters, just because, like I said before, I can relate to his anxiety and his overthinking, and I love the way that Can't think of the female main character. I love the way that she handles him and makes room for his anxiety and for him to be comfortable. Love this book down. I am at the part where they are going back and forth with this internal dialogue. I'm like, speak these things out loud. Explain these things to each other. Stop assuming the words. They're both like feeling things, but is it just because of our arrangement? I'm sure it's just because of our arrangement. And surprisingly, the back and forth internal dialogue is not driving me crazy like it normally would. I am really just enjoying this read and watching the female main character and Jacob fall for each other and just question it all, because is it what he's doing for her? I don't want to give anything away if someone hasn't read it, or if it's the arrangement that they have for this fake dating and they're both just trying to really sell it, or are they falling for each other and the feelings are mutual. So really just enjoying this book. I've got the kids off to school. I did also want to point out that I have started reading in tandem Sing Me to Sleep. And surprisingly so, I downloaded the audio, scratch that, got all twisted up. I downloaded the audio for this so that I could read it in between time, like in the car and stuff. And hold on, because this camera is just shaking so bad, y'all. Sorry, y'all. I had to switch things up. Like I said, I am feeling weak and I could barely hold that phone up. It was just shaking so bad, so had to put it on the stand. But back to what I was saying, I have started reading in tandem with yours truly, Sing Me to Sleep, and so far so good. I will point out that it is very YA heavy. It definitely feels very YA, which doesn't bother me too much. I went into this book knowing that it's a YA read, so that's what I expect. So far it's not holding a candle to Children of Blood and Bone, but let's just read it without comparison. Not that anyone said that they were the same, but just that feeling that I got from reading Children of Blood and Bone, I was expecting from this, and I have not yet gotten there. And I think that I'm about chapter 9. I downloaded the audiobook to read, or listen to like while I'm in the car or cleaning and stuff. And I have to say, I do not like this audio reader or narrator for this book, which is surprising. This is my first audio that I was like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. So what I want to say is the narrator's voice, her tone is fine. She is a good reader. She is not a good storyteller. She is not bringing the story to life for me. She already has a voice that's along the lines of my tone, so a little on the deeper side than I guess your average female voice, and she doesn't do a good job of distinguishing the voices enough to know to be able to tell the characters apart. They all sound the same, and I strongly dislike that for the male main character, because he's the male main character and he almost sounds like a woman, and she kind of does this thing whenever she's trying to do a man's voice where it's just like, oh yeah, I don't want to bash her, but it is not good. It is not good. And they pointed out that the male main character's voice is deep and almost booming. And so I want that deep voice, I want a male's voice so that it really ties together for me, this romantic interest. It's just weird that all the characters sound alike. So I'm probably going to end up DNFing the audio and reading majority of this book in the physical, which is fine. But because it is a thick book, and I have other books that I would like to get finished this month, I wanted to try to knock it out as much as possible when I'm in the car, because I'm in the car a lot from running to activities and things like that. So it really would help me out. But I'm just gonna have to knock the stigmas out pretty much in the physical, and maybe pick it up at desperate times if it's just getting to a part where I have to put my book down but I need to clean, cook, or run to a game or practice, and I want to just continue the chapter. But the audio book alone, narration for me personally is a 2. She can read a story well, very, very precise and accurate, and the pacing of it is fine. It's just she doesn't know how to change her voice. And the audiobooks that I've read so far, they know how to, change their voice. Even if it's a woman that's doing a male's voice, they've done pretty well to where it didn't bother me. This one, I'm like rolling my eyes just from the audio, and it's messing up the story so much for me that I'm like, pause it. I'll just rather wait till I get home to read it, because it's that audio is not it. So no shade to whoever she is. I'm hoping she doesn't do book 2, but she probably does. So I'll probably be reading that one as well, just in the physical, which again is not a problem. But I do like to have the audio in the e-version, just depending on where I'm at, what I'm doing, I can continue reading if I would like to. So that's an update on that one. But nonetheless, we've done a lot of yapping, so I'm going to get back to reading yours truly and hope to finish this book out today. All right, let's get to it. Oh, this grandpa on here is hilarious. He is hilarious. There are things with the possum. It's the possum part. If you've read this book, it's where she stopped to look at that possum and it wasn't dead. Oh man, I wish I had a father-in-law. Okay, here she go, trying to go off script. Stick to the plan. But a part of your world in this book, in both books, the female characters start getting on my nerves. I will say that much. But anyways, Eden is beckoning for me, so I need to go see what she needs, and then I'm going to get some more in this, get some more read in this book. I am on chapter 37, titled Brianna. And let's just see how much reading I can get done today. I hope to finish this book with y'all, but I'll tap back in later. That's it for now. Mommy duty calls, and then I'll get back to reading. Hey y'all, I'm back. I know I was going to update you guys after I picked the kids up from school, but I just had to get back on here because I literally just said that the back and forth internal dialogue wasn't getting on my nerves. It's officially getting on my nerves. It's officially getting on my nerves. It's officially getting repetitive. It's officially like irritating. We get it. We get it. This is, fake dating. You're unsure how much is fake, how much is real, how much is acting, how much is, not. But come on, do you guys not have intuition, discernment, like none of that stuff? Like, come on, you guys are both doctors. Like, shouldn't y'all be picking up on a read at this point? And this is a spoiler-ish. So if you've not read this book, please skip past it. It's nothing big, but she literally just told you over and over. Okay, hold on, mommy. She literally just confessed to you as you were crying. She broke down crying and she's like, I love you so much. How much clearer can she be about her feelings? But somehow you take that to be like, it's got to just be because, like, what at this point, because I haven't read yet what he is chalking that up to, because now they done kissed each other and got all breathy and, hot and bothered. But I'm like, what else can you chalk that up to? Like, how are you going to talk yourself out of not believing this now? So it's definitely getting, let's wrap this up. Come on now. It is getting a bit repetitive. So I just had to jump on there and say that I retracted my statement. A little back and forth conflict of, does he like me? Is he acting? Is he not acting? That's understood because it is fake dating. But at some point, use the brain that the good Lord gave you and pick up what is being put down. So that's all I have to say at this point. I'm going to get back into this book because I would like to finish it today. All right, in a bit. Okay, because I was about to get so frustrated. Like, girl, are you listening? He's telling you how he feels. Like, I thought she was going to do another one of her twisting that to mean something else. Goodness gracious. How many times, how many ways can a man tell you he loves you or he wants you? Goodness. Like, you're trying to push him away. Had their aha moment of you love me, I love you too. And it's at the 85th percent mark. So I am just curious what y'all think. With a book like this with fake dating, would you say 85% is a good place for that aha, I love you, you love me too moment? Or is that too far into the book? What do you prefer? Would you have preferred for it to happen earlier or at the very end? Or do you think 85% is a good mark? Let me know down in the comments. I'm gonna go check on the littles, try to get some more reading done, and then I will tap back in with you guys later on this evening. And hopefully by then I'm at the 85% mark. I should be done. And then we may be able to start another book in this vlog. I would love to be able to get 2 books. Like, I really would like to get 3 done, but then that could be a long vlog. And I do not like editing long vlogs. It's such, okay, anyways, I'm yapping. Let me go check on these kids and let's knock this book out. Check in with y'all later. Okay, y'all, so I have just finished Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. The first half of the book was really good. I was really enjoying it till about the 73%, and then it just got really repetitive, really frustrating unnecessarily. And yes, love Jacob. He's probably one of my top, or he's up there with my top male main characters. When I just love how a man loves his lady, that just puts him up there. So he's up there with my top fictional male main characters. I didn't like how they were trying to make Brianna and Amy besties. Like, in what world would your ex-girlfriend, who is now with your brother, be best friends with your new wife? I mean, I don't know, maybe it's just me. Let me know down in the comments if you think I'm petty. I do like to, drop questions for you guys so that we can engage, really bring this channel, to feel more tangible, like we're not just watching each other, just let's talk, let's engage, let's talk books. So let me know down in the comments. In the book, the husband Jacob took Brianna's last name. How do y'all feel about that? Would that be something that y'all are open to? Me, I think I'm more traditional, it's not something that I would want, but if my husband brought it to me, I think I would just have to know why, but let me know. Would that be something you're open to, your husband taking your last name? And then also, if your sibling ended up with your ex because y'all all just decided y'all weren't meant to be and they're much better together, do you think that that's something that you would be okay with, to the point where you and your siblings could be besties again? Let me know down in the comments. But all right, the time is about 5:58. I got that book done, and now we can move on to Sing Me to Sleep. So I'm going to go spend some time with the family and check back in with you guys. I believe I'm at page 79. So if I don't check back in with you guys tonight, I will tomorrow, and we'll see if we can get that book finished in this vlog before it gets too long. Good morning. It is very early morning. I just got the kids off to school, and so I want to give you guys an update on Sing Me to Sleep. We have officially finished this book as of last night, and I want to share my thoughts. So this was a debut novel for Miss Gabby Burton, and I will say that it did read as a debut novel just a bit, not entirely, but just a bit. There were some things that were a bit repetitive in here, one being the description. Every time the siren main character killed someone, it was almost identical. Some of the ways that she described feeling or thinking when certain things happen was also almost an identical description. So I felt that she either needed to not say it or change it, because we knew that whenever she saw this person or did this thing that she felt this way. So it's been said enough. So like I said, either don't say it again, because we at a certain point understand what she's going to feel, think, or smell when she sees this person or does this thing, or change the way that you're saying the same thing, at least to kind of make it a bit more interesting. But I will say I enjoyed this read. This book is more of a romance than more of a romance than what I anticipated, which is fine. I'm a romance girly. I love romance. I found myself initially comparing it to Children of Blood and Bone, so I was ready for the war, the action, the battles, the constant like conflict and inner pulls and things like that. And it was not so much a lot of that. Just it kind of focused on the romance of it with. I felt like the romance was primary and like the magic and fantasy elements of it was secondary, which again is fine. It's just not what I expected going into this book. I did enjoy this book. I will be reading and purchasing book 2. I just now know what to expect when I'm reading this series. Now book 2 may change because this is book 1. It may just have been an introduction to everyone, their abilities, and who everyone is and where the conflict started and what the plan is for book 2. That may be the case. So who knows, but at least I have a certain expectation now. And so if it surpasses that in book 2, great. If not, if it's still very heavily a romance with some fantasy elements secondary, then I am not disappointed or confused or surprised because I already know that from book 1. I will say this book is a slow burn. It took to about the 55-60% mark of this book for it to really take off and pick up that fantasy element, what this book was about, with like the different levels of fays and witches and sirens and things like that, where that conflict took place, where it is us against you or humans against them, like that took about to the 60% mark of the book. And then at that point, I really was page turning. When I initially started reading this book, it was probably like 2 chapters here, 2 chapters there, because it is a slow read. And in the beginning, I will say it even read a bit, well, it is YA, isn't it? I'll say in the beginning, it was heavily YA. But with that being said, I did enjoy this read. I still, as of this moment, don't know what I'm rating it. I will probably discuss that in my weekly wrap up. But I did enjoy it, and I would recommend if you like romance and you like fantasy as well. And if you are new to fantasy like me, this is an easy fantasy read. I was a bit intimidated initially because when I opened it up, it had the infamous map, I believe, or family. Yeah, it had a map. And with like where the different people are, the water phase, the fire phase, air phase, all those phases, and where this little bitty part here were the humans. And in this book, humans are like the lowest and they are servants. So that was different, but I really did enjoy this book. I will be completing this series. Just to give you an idea, I thought it would be fun because they put a little snippet in for book 2. So if anyone has this book on their shelf, or if they've been debating whether they're reading it or not, I'm just going to read a little bit from from the first page of chapter 1 to give you an idea of how it starts. So chapter 1 is called Poison Lullaby, and this is chapter 1 of Sing Me to Sleep. It says, my mark has a death wish, which I suppose is convenient for me. It's two ticks since I stepped into the pub. I've yet to give any indication of my intent to seduce him, and he's already palming like a tankard of cheap ale. He hasn't even offered me a sodding drink. My first instinct, snatch his wrist, twist until I feel the satisfying snap of a cracking bone. I know better than to trust my first instinct. Instead, I turn swiftly, smile sweetly, and gaze into his eyes like they're a map to someplace less seedy with someone less slimy. At the sight of my face, his jaw, scratch that, his entire face goes slack, and his hand slides off like it's slicked with oil. It's typical. I'm beautiful, not arrogant, just honest. My birthright is coiling men so tightly around my finger, they'll willingly follow me to any early watery grave. Beauty is a given. The eyes of the entire pub trail my every move, drinking me in, savoring me like a glass of that disgustingly sweet wine the Fae like to drink. They watch my Mark too, with dark scowls instead of salacious leers, not because of what he is, but because he's drawn to my attention in a room full of men who'd welcome me with open arms and silk sheets. I drown out the feel of their eyes and focus on my Mark. He was brazen enough to touch me on sight, but now he can't work up the nerve to speak. Some Marks require more effort, a few drinks to loosen up, or a few moments of idle conversation. This one won't need it. The cinnamon spice of his lust sits on my tongue and burns my throat, giving him away. I might not even have to sing to convince him to drink the poison stashed in my dress. As a siren, I've always been able to feel emotions. Some are basic. Sadness feels heavy and cold. Happiness is light and warm. Some are more complex. Bitterness is sharp like a sting, hot like a flame, and persistent like a bad cold. I can block out the way emotions feel against my skin, but when they're strong, I can't turn off the way they taste. Without a word, I sink into a wooden chair at a pub table and cross one leg over the other. The hem of my inky black dress slithers up my thigh. I flash my Mark an inviting smile and pat the empty chair next to me. He tumbles into it, eyes wide. The flavor of his lust mixes stale and bitter like rank alcohol. As I lean forward, I have the satisfaction of watching his gaze slide from my luminescent honey-colored eye to the dip in the front of my dress. Okay, so I'm going to skip a little bit. She says, "You touched me when you saw me. Why?" His eyes follow the swirling water. "You're beautiful." I tilt my head to one side. The water speeds up, as do his eyes. "That means you can touch me? You're beautiful." I finish with a roll of my eyes. "Yes, you said that. Do you make a habit of touching beautiful women without permission?" My eyes flash silver with my words. His heartbeat quickens. He opens his mouth but doesn't speak. Irritated, I release the water, and it splatters against the cobblestone, splashing his boots and my bare ankles. It sends a surge of power pulsing through me. I can no longer stall my craving. Kill. My instincts tug at my heart, my lips part, and a song pours out, soft, soulful, wordless. What little expression remains on my Mark's face melts like chocolate in the sun, leaving those bright green eyes vacant. I am no longer smiling. So that is just a snippet of chapter 1. So this is what book 2 looks like. Very cute. Drown Me with Dreams. So very much a slow burn, but it's a book that I enjoyed. I would recommend. I don't regret reading, and I would probably read again down the line, not too soon, because it wasn't so great that I would push it's not so great that I will push other books that I haven't read yet back in order to reread this again. But I would definitely read this again, and I would definitely recommend Children of Blood and Bone is still up here, and I'm trying not to compare it to it, but I'm only doing that because they are both black fantasy, but they are two different types. Children of Blood and Bone had romance in it as well, but I feel like that was not primary. The magic, the conflict, the battles that were going on, that was primary in Children of Blood and Bone, and then the romance was secondary, and this was reversed. So just would like to give you guys a heads up if you are like me, and Children of Blood and Bone is the book that like sets you on this path to dig into more black fantasy. They are both fantasy, but this is very much so more romantasy. But yeah, that's it, guys. Thank you guys so much for hanging with me in this vlog and my sickness and my delayed updates and reading, but nonetheless, we are all doing better now. I've gotten these books read and will continue to knock out my physical TBR. Let me know down in the comments what you are currently reading, and if you have read either Yours Truly or Sing Me to Sleep, and what your thoughts are if you have read either one of those books. But thanks so much for hanging with me. That's it. That is all for today, and until next time, don't forget to show yourself some love today.
Blessed with another chance, blessed with another chance.